Welcome to Take Me Out, the ultimate podcast about ballparks and the baseball experience. It's March 26, 2025, which means opening day is tomorrow. I'm Alexandra Ellis, and I'm joining my friend Timothy Malcolm.
What's up, baseball fans? Welcome to Take Me Out. I am Tim Malcolm. That's Alex. And yes, opening day is tomorrow. It is here. It is upon us. If you're hearing this on Wednesday, the 26th, then opening day is tomorrow. Maybe you're hearing this on opening day, which means opening day is today. Either way,
it's all good.
The baseball season is here. I mean, yes, we did have a Dodger Cub series. The Dodgers are 2-0. Who would have thought? The Cubs are 0-2. They're going to be fine. It's only 2 games, but this is the real meat and potatoes. Every team is going to open up play. My Phillies, I believe, are opening up against the Nationals. Your Astros are opening against the Mets. Is that right?
Yes, I actually met at work last night. There was a guy wearing a Mets hat. And I was like, "Oh, you in time for opening day?" Like half joking. He's like, "Yes, actually." And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Like, "Oh my god!" Like I can't even be angry because there's a Mets fan here. But I'm like, "It's happening! It's happening!" I know we've been talking about this for the past few weeks. Like baseball season's here. Like, no, this is it. Baseball season's here. We're playing for all the marbles now. It's happening. We're not practicing.
Every marble, every single marble, every marble,
all of them
in perpetuity. Did you tell that Mets fan to listen to Take Me Out though?
You know what? I didn't, but I did tell another table because the guy was wearing he was actually wearing a Pirates shirt at another table, and I was like, I've actually been to PNC Park. I love it, and like we talked for a little bit, and I had to run to do other things, but like I did tell him about our podcast, and so hopefully he'll listen. If you were sitting at that table last night, sir, hello. I'm not going to tell anyone where I work right now, but.
Well, that's good. No, I'm nicely enough. I'm going to try to do that in my everyday conversation if I can. You know, people in the street, whatever.
And y'all should do that too. If you're listening, do that too.
You should do that too. And it's a great segue to just tell you that this podcast is now in its 8th episode. So we've been going at it for about 2 months now. It's a podcast all about baseball, ballparks, the experience of going to ball games. And it's because I am an author of a book called Baseball Road Trips that's handily right next to me. Surprisingly, I always have it right here.
You have the newer edition, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the new edition. That's the old edition that she's holding. And it is a book all about if you're going to baseball games anywhere in North America, Major League Baseball, some minor league baseball. This is the book to get because it'll tell you where to go, where to eat, where to drink, where to stay, where to play, all the things, both in and around ballparks. And so decided let's do a podcast because the book is one thing that comes out every 3 years. Let's have the podcast fill in the gaps all the time. And so that's what Take Me Out is, a weekly podcast all about the ballparks, the baseball experience. And so if you are interested in this podcast, we love that you're here and hopefully you stay with us. Please go to Apple Podcasts. Please go to Spotify. Give us 5 stars and a review. It helps us gain more listeners. We have some subscribers out there, so please, more is better. And then go to YouTube if you want. If you want to watch us on YouTube, we are here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Subscribe to us there, and also leave some messages. You know, like just help us build a community because we are trying to tell more people about all the fun stuff that you could do in ballparks around the majors and in the minors. This is our job. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to make for everybody who loves baseball. So we are glad that you're here. Please help us get better. Yes. But I have the bunting. The bunting's back here.
Got the bunting. That's such a great touch. It's oh my gosh. I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than you could get actually get the authentic stuff. But I'm sure that was look.
It's not. It's like $10. Bunting is like 10, like 10 for one of these. That feels like it's a lot if you're gonna decorate an entire stadium with bunting.
Yeah.
But as the book falls, but the. but bunting by itself, this one flag, they call it a fan. Actually, it's actually called a fan. Weirdly enough, but it's like $10. It's nothing. So if you're interested in getting bunting, there you go.
Yeah, there it is. Love it.
All right. Are we ready to get into the next segment? So obviously what we do here at Take Me Out is we say hi for a little bit, and then we get into the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes being what's going on in ballparks across the country, what the newest stuff is going on, and so it's time to report. Is it not?
I think it's a great time to report. All right,
here we go.
Let's start over in California. The Athletics unveil upgrades to Sutter Health Park. Finally, the Sacramento, which is what we're calling them, Athletics, revealed some of the changes made to their temporary home, Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento.
So it's very funny. I've been scouring for updates on Sutter Health Park and the Athletics' new ballpark and what they're trying to do there. What's the new food at the ballpark? What's the new beverage situation? Where should you go in the ballpark to experience fun stuff? And the updates are not there.
Yeah.
The Athletics have been very sort of mum about Sutter Health Park in general and West Sacramento in general and Sacramento in general. Obviously, the name of the team, they're not calling them the Sacramento A's. It's all a lot of like, we're not really, like, we're here and we care, but we don't really care about the whole thing, and maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
But they did make changes to the ballpark, but it's all mostly like the larger structural changes that make it more of a major league park from a production standpoint. So some of the things they're doing, there's now a larger video screen, now 75 by 32 feet, which is not as big as I would imagine it be, but it's apparently bigger than it was, which is great. There are new digital displays around the ballpark, upgraded audio, and then the biggest change really is that they've expanded and enhanced the clubhouse for the Athletics. I don't know about the visitors, but there's new places to get treatment. There's, more space to relax. There's hot tub situations and all that stuff, right? Training room stuff. It's more of a major league clubhouse experience for the players, but for the fans, we still don't know what's going on in that ballpark as far as like what to do. So it'll be very interesting the first week or so to find out from fans through message boards, Reddit, and all the other things. Like, okay, here's what I found out. Here's where I'm eating, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing some reports from fans. I mean, because it's clearly they're probably not going to have a massive crowd, or they're going to probably be expecting like the largest crowd they've ever had there, because it's
they'll sell out.
Oh yeah, I mean, good for them, they should, but it's it'll be interesting to see what kinks are ironed out and what there's going to be new problems. There's going to be solutions. Just kind of like opening a restaurant. It's like you have a plan in mind, you're going to go for it, and then you're going to see what we can do to change it, make things better. It's going to be interesting. I look forward to finding out what's up. I look forward to seeing some stories on Instagram and the A subreddit, all that stuff. I look forward to seeing what's up with that.
Yeah, and we'll all be watching when the A's are playing there and see like what it looks like on TV. I mean, the pictures that I've seen, because they had an exhibition game, I believe, on Sunday against the Giants, the Bay Area series, essentially, where the two teams kind of traded off. They played one game at Oracle and then the other at Sutter Health. And the pictures from that game, it looked good. What I love about Sutter Health, and we didn't really talk about this in the Sutter Health guide, which was a couple episodes ago. Go listen to that episode if you want to know more about Sutter Health Park, just generally, and what to expect for the most part. But that park, I mean, has a great backdrop because of the Tower Bridge in the outfield, that beautiful yellow. I don't know if it's like cantilevered. Is it like, I forget the actual like kind of term for that bridge. It's a tower bridge. It's like the Tower of London Bridge. Hello, it's really nice, right out beyond sort of right center field, kind of in the way that the Clemente Bridge is in PNC Park. But you also have this really nice green sort of space out in right field where that lawn is. It's not your traditional spring training minor league berm where it's just an open grass field with no shade. There are trees back there. It's actually like a lawn hillside area. I believe they call it Home Run Hill. Is that right? Is that what they?
I think so. I remember saying something like that a few weeks ago.
So it's like a really lush green area. There's shade, so it looks really cool. It's different for a major league park, and the images that I saw from Sunday looked pretty nice. So it's a great backdrop, and it's a nice place, but obviously it doesn't have the scope and the size of a regular major league park. It only seats 14,000, which is about not even half as much as, I mean, I think Lone Depot probably still sits like 30,000 or so. So it's not even half as much as the next, but I just want to know more. I just want to know more about what's going on at this park, and we'll find out, I guess, in the first week or so from fans and such, but
it'll be interesting. I did see something on Instagram, and it was a chart, and it was like the median ticket price for each team's opening day, and Athletics was the number one. It was like the highest rated thing. And it's also obviously because it's a smaller park, but it's like it had more than, I mean, their opening day prices are more than the Yankees. It's kind of wild, but it's just, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but it's such a not a fair thing for the Oakland fans. I feel horrible for them. I mean, they didn't choose this.
Yeah. But I mean, good for Sacramento, good for a city that, could use a little bit of the tourism, I guess. But And it'll be like that for a little while. The prices will be higher to start the year because it's a new ballpark. It's
The
this
novelty
shiny
will wear
toy
off.
for people. A lot of people like us who go to all the ballparks and the chasers and such, they will want to go there as soon as possible. So that raises the prices. And then because there's only 14,000 seats, as you said, the demand will be higher. People from Sacramento will want to go. People from Oakland will want to go see the Athletics because there's still fans, people from the Bay Area in general. So yeah, there's still a lot of demand there. But as the season goes on, I'm sure the prices will come down a little bit. But those are some of the upgrades so far that we're seeing in Sacramento. We'll obviously update as the season goes on with more stuff that we find out about Sutter Health. And then hopefully as the season. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to Sutter Health. I haven't yet.
Awesome.
I haven't hit the button to say I'm going, but I'm going to make that reservation probably today, actually, as we're recording this. And so in May, I will go to Sutter Health Park for the first time. And so what we'll do is maybe even right after that game, I'm thinking maybe even a live, if we're available both, we'll do like a live broadcast or something to kind of talk through the Sutter Health experience right after it happens. So that we'll get a better sense of everything and a bigger guide of the park by the end of May at the very latest. So
I look forward to that. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to the excitement of buying a ticket to go. And it's just like, it's happening,
it's all happening.
It's all happening.
All right, what's next?
All right, next we're going to Progressive Field. Progressive Field renovations are nearing a close. The Cleveland Guardians are closing in on the end of a 2-year renovation project that drastically changed parts of Progressive Field.
So we didn't talk about this yet on the podcast, but Progressive Field has undergone a lot of renovations over the past couple of years. It's a 2-year project. It's cost many, many millions of dollars. And the idea of this is, Progressive Field, it's kind of a forgotten ballpark as far as that early retro classic, retro modern era starting up, because we all remember people talk about Camden Yards as like the first great, the retro classic ballpark from 1992. You have Chicago's Rate Field, which back in the day was Comiskey 3 or whatever it was, Comiskey 2 or 3. That opened in I think 91, so right before Oriole Park, and then right after Oriole Park you had both Progressive Field, which at the time was Jacobs Field, and I still lovingly call it the Jake, and in Arlington, Globe Life Park, which is now Choctaw Field in Arlington, that opened around the same time. I think that's 94 as well, maybe 93. And they were at, that's sort of similar, that ballpark, a little bit larger, kind of like, in a weird, like I think both Rate Field and now Choctaw, back then Globe Life, back then the ballpark in Arlington, are sort of weird hybrid ballparks that are retro modern in a sense because they are newer and have a little bit more angularity and a little bit more of that nostalgic feel, but then they all
red
still
brick.
Red brick, and of course like the arches out in the outfield in Arlington, but also they still had a foot in the even like the mid-century to the concrete bowl era, because they were sort of larger ballparks that still had the concrete, very sort of courses and, just a little more of like an old school 1960s, 70s kind of approach to construction. So they were in kind of both eras. And Progressive Field isn't so much in that 60s, 70s. It is more of the retro classic, but I think Progressive is kind of thought of as really the first retro modern ballpark because it is retro in that it looks like an old school ballpark with the angles, with the sort of old school red brick approach in some places, but also it's concrete and steel in some places, and it's got the big lighting structures, and it feels it's a little bigger. It's a pretty big park from what I recall when I've been there. It's high, it's very high up there, the highest seats, so it is a little bit more of a larger spectacle park, so it does feel more modern in that sense, but it's a weird ballpark. It's not the same as Camden Yards. So I think what they're trying to do now with Progressive is sort of bring it back in a little bit and also update it for the modern era, which is experiences, the entertainment district era, that kind of thing, where they're adding clubs and they're adding, new places to go hang out around the concourses and have a beer, stand around and watch the game with your friends. A couple of years back, they did all the districts out in the outfield on Progressive Field, the right field district, the first base district, all that stuff. And now they've kind of like brought in like a left field patio space. And the biggest change that they're making in 2025 is they've started the Carnegie Club, or the Carnegie Club, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's a members only club that is in the home plate area down low. And there's two different parts to it. There's the Carnegie Lounge, which is the first, I want to say, 2 rows of seats behind home plate. And then you have the Carnegie Club, which is 5 rows behind that. And the lounge is these sort of smaller lounge spaces. Up to 12 people can be in that lounge space. There's, grab and go, there's bar access, all that stuff. And then the club is sort of the larger space for everybody who kind of sits in that general area that has bar, that has grab and go, that has dining service and all that. I mean, the idea is you're trying to bring in, more money. You're trying to bring in the people who want to spend more money on the game experience, and they want to hang out in an indoor sort of space, get their drinks, get their food, and then go to their plush seating right behind home plate. Every team has been introducing this kind of thing. The Yankees, when they opened the new Yankee Stadium, was really historically one of the first to really kind of go big on that sort of space. And then in the years since, other ballparks have adapted and created that space as well. And so
the Diamond Club here in Houston.
Yeah, the Astros have it, and the Guardians are now adopting that with the Carnegie Club and the Carnegie Lounge down there on home plate. Just an idea, bringing more big money customers, essentially. I mean, I'll never sit in those places. I don't think. Will you ever sit in those places?
Unless somebody invites me, no. I mean, I guess, sorry, I'm not going to spend probably my yearly salary. Not even make a salary, but yeah, I can't. I don't want to. I mean, if somebody invites me, absolutely, I'm not turning that down. But I naturally.
I love when I go to ballparks, I walk around the park a lot, and I go to different spots of the ballpark. I talk to fans. I sit in different places. If I can, I talk to ushers. Like, can I sit there for a minute or so? Yeah. And, all that kind of stuff. I like to watch the game, though, as well. I like to sit and watch the game. And when you're behind home plate in those spaces, it's really hard to see the whole game because you're right there. Like, you're behind the catcher and the umpire. I mean, you get great views of the pitcher, and you see like the spin coming off of the ball and all that stuff. And that's great stuff, but you can't see the whole dynamic, like everything going on. It's harder to see those things. Yeah. So I'm kind of cool with like sitting a little bit more up. If I'm in the first level, sit a little bit farther back so I can see even more of the gameplay going on and what's going on, the dynamics, the texture of the field, all that stuff. I really like sitting in the second level, kind of first or second row, so I get a real view of everything. Yeah, those are great seats. So those like down by home plate seats, I mean, they're kind of cool for like the cachet of saying I've been there. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that I do have a lifelong bucket list dream of sitting courtside at an NBA game once in my life.
Yeah,
I want to sit courtside. Any team. I don't care. Any team. Okay. So I actually know somebody. I know somebody who has like access to really good seats at the Rockets, a courtside. Okay. And I've been trying to. Can you for one game? Just for one game? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, Rockets are good this year. They're good. They are good.
Yeah, they are good this year.
This is not an NBA podcast, so
it's not an NBA podcast. But nevertheless, like that's one of those bucket list like seating ideas I wanted to. I would love to sit at an NBA game courtside. That is one of those bucket list things. Baseball, I don't have the same like love. I don't necessarily need to sit like right there front row in the field at a baseball game. But for some people, great, that's fine.
Yeah, love that for you. Do it. Cool. Next, we're going to Detroit. The Tigers changed the signage at Comerica Park. The Detroit Tigers recently replaced the longtime Tigers script atop left field scoreboard with a Comerica logo.
So yeah, this got some traction on social media because people are upset that the Tigers script logo is now gone from the scoreboard and Comerica is now there.
Yeah, I hate that.
I mean, it was always a corporate thing. I don't know. I'm not upset about this that much. I don't know why. It's cool that the Tigers logo was up there at the top of that scoreboard, and that scoreboard is always a cool one because you have the Tigers on either side of the Tigers script. That ballpark is famous for having tigers everywhere. It's essentially you can go on a scavenger hunt and find, what is it, like the 23 tigers or whatever it is, scattered about the ballpark. Yeah, it's real. And they have those really cool like orange tigers, like those like tiger sculptures, but they're very lifelike looking at the top of the scoreboard, sort of roaming around. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So Comerica paid a lot of money, $66 million for the naming rights of that ballpark.
Yeah.
It's a 30-year deal. Now, when you think about like the Astros and Daikin, the air conditioning manufacturer that now has the naming rights to the ballpark, that's like a $30 million naming rights contract for I think 30 years as well. So like $66 million is a lot
That's
of money
a
for a
lot.
naming rights contract.
You
To
know what?
me,
Yeah.
why
If
not?
if I give you that much money, I'd say, hey, I'd like to see my name a little bit more. I just gave you an obscene amount of money. I understand that in a way.
And here's the thing, and this is I'm not trying to sympathize with corporate overlords all the time. I'm really not. Offline we talked about how I felt about CEOs in general, but look, if you're spending that much money, Comerica Park. When you look at Comerica Park from that sort of classic home plate to the backdrop to the outfield view, right? That classic outfield view of Comerica.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that I think of when I close my eyes is in center field, above the batter's eye, is that Chevy truck. You know, they have the Chevy cars and the Chevy trucks atop the batter's eye.
Yes.
And it's the Chevrolet fountain, right? That's what I think of when I close my eyes and I look at Comerica Park. I see Chevrolet. If I'm Comerica Bank and I paid $66 million for my name to be the name of the ballpark,
I wouldn't like that.
I don't want Chevrolet to be the first thing that people think of when they think of Comerica
Park. It's not Chevrolet Park.
Exactly. It's Comerica Park. So I get them wanting to put the name on top of the scoreboard. I mean, fine. It's whatever. Look, I love the fact that like in Baltimore back in the day, the Orioles had the Sun over the clock because I love the fact that they cared enough about the newspaper, the Sun, and the Sun bought the rights to the clock. That, you know, the clock was the Sun, the Baltimore Sun. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff because it feels old school. It feels like the 50s and 60s and old school jewel box ballparks like Shibe Park and things like that, where you have like the big Lifebuoy soap billboard in right field and things like that. But, I mean, that's always what baseball has been. We've had advertisements in every ballpark. We've had names of corporations in every ballpark. So, like, I don't know. I don't care so much. The other thing the Tigers did with Comerica, though, like what the Guardians did at Progressive, is they've also added uber luxury box seats behind home plate. And that's called the Home Plate Club. It's a private club, and they don't have as much information about that club as the Guardians do with their Carnegie Club. But nevertheless, again, another team that a ballpark opened, you know, in the early 2000s and was part of that initial retro modern, retro classic era. They're now upgrading to, okay, we need to have a home plate club. We now need to have these, you know, patio areas in the outfield. We need to have an entertainment district. All of these ballparks that are now 25 years old, give or take, are upgrading into their third century or third decade and saying we need to have all these new things to stay in pace with the newer, flashier ballparks like Truist, like your, you know, Globe Life, like, you know, whatever ballparks like your Lone Depot that are modern and have taken these things on as part of the ballpark experience. So we're seeing this new era we're seeing the older era ballparks kind of upgrade into a newer era, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, I can see that. Money talks for sure.
Yeah. Well, $66 million. I mean, come on. You know?
I wouldn't sneeze at that. Somebody offered me that. I'm like, sure, you can change my name. It's all good.
You would change your name for $66 million?
Yeah, sure. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comerica Malcolm, sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, call you Comey for short? I don't know.
That, you know what? That is an untapped part of civilization that we haven't gotten to yet that I think we're going to get to.
Did we just introduce an idea? You know what? That probably wasn't introduced. We probably just didn't introduce it. I'm sure someone else came up with that idea.
You know, I'm sure, like, I mean, it's happened for sure, like social media or whatever. I'm sure somebody has sold their name for money. I know it's probably famously happened. I can't even think about it. But selling your name for an amount like $10 million, will you change your name? You know?
Yeah. I wouldn't do it for 1 million. I need more than 1 million.
I think 10 million is like a threshold to start.
Yeah, 10 million. Yeah, that's where you start. That's where you start. It depends on how cool your name is to begin with. Like, I think Alexandra is a really cool name, so I would go a little higher than that. Than 10 million.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. How much do you value your name?
Well, that was my mom's choice, and my mom is priceless, so I love her.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Yes.
Well, we'll be back in just a moment. It'll take me out. That's it for the news. We're going to now get into our next segment in a second, which is going to be a cool thing for opening day. We are going to look at 30 different foods that are being introduced for the 2025 season at 30 ballparks. Welcome back to Take Me Out. I'm Tim, and that is Alex.
Hello.
Hello. And for our next segment, well, Alex, the baseball season is literally on the doorstep. It is upon us. It is here. So what better way to talk about the ballparks in 2025 than...
Can we talk about food? I'm hungry. Like, let's get everyone's stomach rumbling. I'm ready to find out the new foods at all of the 30 ballparks. Maybe not all of the 30 right now, but let's figure that out.
Close.
We're close. We got still a couple things going to be announced sooner, but just about like what, 28? We got about 28 of them right now.
27 or 28. So there's a couple teams have not yet announced what their new offerings for 2025 are going to be. You know, this happens every year. For those who don't know, every team right before opening day, or even a couple weeks before opening day, has a media event where they invite everybody to the ballpark and say, okay, here's all the food that we are going to have this year at the park. And it's all the new stuff, right? So their vendor, whoever they work with, whether it's Aramark or Delaware North or whoever does the food and drink for the ballpark, says, okay, here's the spread. And it's like, there's the new crazy hot dog and the new crazy burger. And here's the really weird thing that nobody might eat. And then here's the other thing that everybody will talk about. And they put them in a room and you can have samples of things, but you have to really, you're there to take pictures and to write about what they are. And so every team does this. And so we figured this year in advance of opening day, right before opening day, we'll gather as much as we can about these foods at the ballparks this year. And we'll go through every team and pick one food item out of each team. I'm sure we'll talk about more than one per each team. Like sometimes we'll talk about more than one food item. So it'll be 30 or more, but we will talk about at least one food item for each team that is available to us. And we will decide whether it is good or not for you to have in 2025. And how are we going to do that, Alex?
So what we're going to do, if it's good, we want to eat it, we're ready to go for it. We're going to say we crushed it, or the team crushed it. Like they knocked it out of the park. Grand slam. Let's go. If we're going to take a pass, not really a big fan of it, they whiffed. Strike out.
They whiffed.
Bases loaded, strike out, bottom of the ninth. You lost. I'm so sorry.
And we'll get to know our own flavor profiles through this. I will tell you that I'm not a big guy as far as eating all of the weird stuff that the teams introduce each year. I'm more of a guy who I want to find the thing that you can eat at the ballpark every year that is kind of unusual but unique for the ballpark. Maybe it's a local flavor that is kind of fun and interesting. Like, for instance, in Seattle, T-Mobile Park, they have clam chowder and they have sushi and stuff like that. So, like, I want to have that at the ballpark, which they always have there, and it's kind of cool and it's different. But I don't want to necessarily have, like, the crazy milkshake thing that will get you sick after 2 sips. You know, there is one of those in this list.
Oh boy!
So that's my general thing. I don't know if you feel the same way, but you know, we'll learn.
My thing is I'm not a big fan on spice. I did not take after my parents on that. My dad loved spicy foods. My mom loves spicy food. If she's not crying, it's not good enough for her. But I'm not quite there yet. I'm working up there. So if it's insanely spicy, I'm gonna let my friend take it instead. But I do like trying new things. I'm not sure if they're still doing this in Seattle, but like I would love to try one of their crickets. I would love to try those.
Oh yeah, the crickets.
I heard those were spicy, but it's like I would put that aside.
The grasshopper,
the grasshopper. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, it's very close. It's the same family of animals.
Bug that I would scream if it flew at my face.
Yeah. And I've had the grasshoppers. They are good, but they are dusted. Okay. They are dusted in tagine, so there's a little bit of spice to them. A little bit of spice.
I can do tahini. I love tahini.
Yeah. But I'm a spice lord. I will eat a lot of spicy food.
Okay.
I will eat hot stuff. I usually have habaneros just like to pop sometimes. So it's weird. I'm weird. Okay. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna go team by team. We're gonna do as quick as we can. We're not gonna like spend a lot of time on each team, but we're gonna talk about the item real quick, and then we'll say crushed it or whiffed it. So there we go.
We're going alphabetically too. So we're starting in Arizona Diamondbacks Chase Field. They have the Sonoran Dog. It's Nathan's hot dog topped with ranch beans, smoked bacon, pico, mustard, and mayo.
So the Sonoran Dog is a very Southwestern item. It is a Southwestern unique item. You can find a Sonoran Dog throughout Phoenix area. They've been around forever. It's a hot dog that is topped with basically those, there's beans, there's pico, there's, all kinds of sort of Southwestern ingredients. It's sort of like a ranch kind of a thing, like you're on the ranch, and these are the ranch items that you would have on a hot dog. So it's like your Chicago dog. It's like your New York dog with the sauerkraut and the mustard. It's like a different flavor of hot dog. Sonoran Dog is a very Arizona thing. It's very unique for them. I like this. I like the ranch beans. I like it's not too overloaded with stuff. It's got good flavor combination. The smoke. You have the salt. You have some freshness with the pico. Mayo mustard. I love a good mayo mustard on my hot dog.
Me
I say
too.
crushed it. I love a Sonoran dog.
I'm crushing it too. That sounds incredible. I was when I was first reading it, I'm like pico with mustard and mayo. I don't know, but then I was like, you know what? That could eat. I could eat that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think what happens is if it's like a duller mustard too, it's not like a brown mustard, it's probably just a regular yellow mustard.
Yeah.
It will just kind of combine with the mayo and have like a creamy sort of a little bit of a bitter, like spice taste, but it won't be too overpowering. And so what will come out really, I mean, the beans and the bacon will probably be the main flavor on that thing.
I'm a yellow mustard girl all the way when it comes to my hot dogs. What about you?
I like yellow mustard a lot. I like yellow mustard a lot.
Give me that tang. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Yeah. Let's go to Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves at Truist Park have the ATL dog. It's a hot dog with carrot and celery, pickles, ranch, blue cheese, Cajun hot sauce, and lemon pepper. And it's part of the outfield market that also includes Taqueria Tsunami and FA Burger, which is mini smashes, Fred's Meat and Bread Cheese, which are cheesesteaks.
Yeah, so we talked about this earlier in the podcast a couple episodes ago that in Truist Park, they have launched this outfield market area that is now, I think, in the right field area or left field area. I forget exactly where, but it's in the outfield. It's in the outfield market. And I think it's left field. I think it's the left field area. It's near the Chop House. No, the Chop House is in right field. Okay, forget it. Outfield market.
It's there. It's just there.
You'll see it when you go to Truist Park. It's got all different kinds of food vendors there, some local vendors, NFA Burger, as you said, Meat and Bread. They're all local vendors. And it's cool to have more of a taste of Atlanta at the ballpark. And especially because before when I've been to Truist, it's very corporate in a lot of ways. There's like a Chick-fil-A in the ballpark. It's like, I don't need that stuff. I want like regular, like actual local Atlanta stuff. And so they've introduced a lot of these places. So that's a really good addition to the ballpark. The ATL dog. I like the concept because it's like, let's take things that Atlanta is like known for. Like, let's take like the Cajun hot sauce. That's Southern influence. Let's take the blue cheese and the ranch. Like we're thinking like buffalo wings. We're thinking parties. We're thinking like going out to the club kind of a thing. The carrot and celery pickles. I'm not sure where that's coming from exactly. It's a lemon pepper wings. Like that's a cool thing. Like that's a very Southern thing. So it's all kind of like there. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it's a good combination. I'm going to say whiffed it, but I might be interested in trying it.
It kind of sounds like they tried to do a banh mi and then they just threw everything else in there.
That's an interesting thought.
I love banh mi. Trust me, I love banh mi, but I'm like, this isn't it. I'm sorry. It's
banh mi is very composed. Like there's fresh ingredients and they all make sense together. Whereas this, like, it feels like a melange of like Southern things kind of thrown together.
Right. I don't think they're all going to work together. I mean, you don't know until you're going to try it if you're going to like it or not. But if someone offered that to me, I would say, you know what, I'm gonna whiff it.
I mean, I can also see what they're going for as far as like it's essentially like buffalo wings, but in hot dog form, right?
Yeah,
because it's all the things you would find, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want lemon pepper together with my blue cheese and my ranch and my Cajun hot sauce. Like that's a lot of flavors, just like really going up against each other, and they're very big flavors. So
you need to take a Pepsi AC after that.
Yes.
Especially us in our 40s. All right, we are going next up to Baltimore at Camden Yards. We have the Birdland Value Menu. It's a $5 beer, which would be either a 12-ounce High Life, Blue Moon, Stella, Sierra Nevada, or Athletic. For $4 or fewer hot dogs, pretzel bites, nachos, popcorn. Crushed it. Immediately crushed it. That's great.
I wanted to highlight. So they have other foods at Camden Yards that they've introduced for the season. There's like a. I want to say that there's a crab thing that they've introduced, a new crab thing. There's always a crab thing there.
Yeah.
There's a new kind of hot dog they've introduced there as well, of course. But this is just different because I wanted to highlight that some parks are doing this value meal menu kind of a thing where if you're, you got a family or you're just not looking to spend a lot of money on things and you just want a hot dog and a beer at the ball game and you can spend $10 on those things together. Mm-hmm. Yes. Lone Depot Park in Miami did this a couple of years ago. I think they still have it. And I think it's area code. It's like the 4. I forget exactly what it's called. But it's essentially like anything is that like the area code price or fewer or whatever it is. But that's great. Like discount foods and drinks is wonderful.
Yes,
so the fact that like you can get a Sierra Nevada for $5 is fantastic. Like
love it. Like, Athletic for me because I don't drink. And I think the only ballpark I've seen Athletic at was at since I quit drinking was Pittsburgh, PNC. And they actually had It was the Athletic Light, which is the lightest one, obviously, and it was at a single kiosk on the first level. The cans were literally on the bottom shelf to the right, to the left, and it was a $9 can. And it's like, like you can get a 6-pack of Athletic at the store for less than that. But the fact that they're including that makes me so happy. It makes me feel cool. I can actually go and be a part of it and like get the same deal that everyone else is, and I don't have to pay extra because I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer. I think it's fantastic. It makes me happy. So this really is a great idea, considering, not trying to get too political here. The economy is not great. People are not trying to spend as much money now. So I think this is going to help out a lot of people. I love this idea.
And for someone who would rather just like have a couple beers at Pickle's Pub before the game or after the game there, like just having like a $4, like a $5 beer and a hot dog while you're at the game and that's all you're spending, that's really nice. So there you go.
All right, let's go to Boston next. At Fenway Park, we have the Cabot Gourmet Grilled Cheese. It is a grilled cheese made with Cabot cheese on sourdough.
So this is going to be available on Jersey Street at Fenway, which is right outside. It used to be called Yawkey Way, and they've since renamed it Jersey Street for very good political reasons. And that's right outside the sort of first base side of Fenway there. So, and it's a great, like you got to have a ticket to get in there. You got to go through the thing. But once you go through the thing, you can walk that whole like area. You get a beer, you get some food, drinks, whatever you want to get. And so they're going to have it out there. And look, I don't know if you've ever been to Queechee, Vermont. The Cabot, I think it's the Cabot General Store. It's in, or maybe it's just the Cabot store inside the Queechee General Store in Queechee, Vermont. So Queechee is on the Vermont-New Hampshire border, sort of like eastern Vermont, like right there on the border. And the Cabot store in there, it's like just cheese everywhere. And Cabot is like a Vermont staple of like they produce cheese in Vermont. Cabot is a sort of a collective thing where like all these like smaller producers they make their cheese and then they sell it to Cabot for money and Cabot sells it as their cheese. So Cabot has all these different kinds of cheeses, mostly cheddar because that's what is really plentiful up there. And so a grilled cheese sandwich made with Cabot cheese on sourdough, like I'm there.
That's the only way to eat it. Yeah.
Very regional.
Do they offer a side of tomato soup? Because that is the only way. I mean, I mean, I'm fine doing without it, but like, based on principle, you can't have a grilled cheese without tomato soup. I will definitely still eat this grilled cheese, especially if it's on sourdough. Give me sourdough. But yeah, give me some tomato soup with that, and it's a crush. But it's still a crush without tomato soup. But if they do tomato soup, that'd be really cool. I would love that.
I agree. Crushed it on the grilled cheese.
Yeah, man.
Would be a back-to-back-to-back crusher if we had tomato soup with that. So we'll see.
All right.
Next time we go to Fenway, we'll figure it out. So there you go.
Yeah, I might go this summer. I don't know. I was talking to my mom earlier, and she lives right outside of Boston. And I'm like, go see my mom and go to the ballpark. I don't know. All right, let's go to Chicago at Wrigley Field. I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry. It's the Jibarito or Jibarito sandwich?
Jibarito.
I tried. It's with roast beef, garlic butter, lettuce, tomato, garlic aioli, in between smashed and fried plantains. Crushed it. Oh my God.
This is I want to say it's a Mexican like sort of deal here. I think the Jibarito is also like a sandwich. It is an actual sandwich, but roast beef, garlic butter, lettuce, tomato, garlic aioli, like these are all things that work together well. Yes. And then the plantains, like that's where it kind of just like goes above and beyond. Yeah. Instead of bread, you got and I saw a picture of it. It looks really good. It's kind of like, it almost has a collapsible, what's the word I'm looking for? I forget the name of the sandwich. It's a Mexican sandwich, that kind of like thing going on.
Torta?
It kind of has like a torta. It kind of has like a torta sort of like look to it. So it's very collapsible, almost very personal, handheld kind of a thing.
It's a personal sandwich.
I mean, yeah, isn't every sandwich well, not every sandwich is personal, I guess, but it looks great. I mean, I would totally eat this for sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's go. It's reading this out loud. It reminded me of that Vince McMahon meme where like he keeps going like, oh my gosh, then his head finally explodes. Oh, and it's like between the fried plantains, that's where my head exploded. I'm like, I am already there. Let's go. All right, let's go across town to the White Sox at Wright Field. You have the Unicorn Dog at Lucky's, I guess section 154. It's a Vienna beef corn dog topped with marshmallows, Fruity Pebbles, condensed sweet milk.
Oh, boy. So
I don't know.
The White Sox have introduced a lot of things this year. I think probably because we're not going to have a lot of fans. Our team stinks, so let's have a lot of good food or crazy food or whatever. The crazy food thing, the really crazy food thing that they're introducing this year is the Celebration Cake Shake. It's birthday cake ice cream in a shake. but with confetti cake pieces on top of it. So it's like, you've seen these like shops that have these loaded milkshakes that, just have like all kinds of candy in them and stuff like that. It's one of those things where you have 3 sips of it and you like have a coma within the 4th inning or whatever.
Oh my God.
The unicorn dog is so Lucky's is a vendor that they've introduced that has, it's East Asian sort of inspired, but it's also like just crazy combinations. So it's a corn dog that has, like you said, marshmallows, Fruity Pebbles, condensed sweet milk. Again, I understand what they're going for here. It's like that combination of sweet and salty. It's it's like that very like craveable sort of thing. I don't know. It's a little much for me. I can't.
So much.
I'm gonna say whiff.
Whiff for sure. I mean, I get all the sweet stuff, but when you throw beef in there, I'm sorry. Just keep it a simple corn dog. There's nothing wrong with it. You can even just do like a Korean fried corn dog. Those are great. But then adding this stuff, it's like you're White Sox. You're trying too much. You're trying too hard. Whiff. Sorry.
Okay, who's next?
Next, we are going to Cleveland Guardians Progressive Field. They have not announced anything yet, but
yes,
I believe they should be announcing something soon. Correct?
Yeah, I want to say that they're going to probably announce something in the next couple of days. I mean, every team does, so we will keep track. And if they do announce something, we'll put it in the news section in the next episode, and we'll give you the same grading whether they crushed it or whiffed it.
Stay tuned. All right, let's go to Cincinnati with the Reds at Great American Ballpark. They have the Big Ma's Chicken Parm Sandwich. It's mozzarella sticks, chicken tenders, marinara sauce, banana peppers on a hoagie roll.
This is an interesting sandwich. So you have things that go together, and like when you're sitting there and you're like, I'm going to have a feast, you're going to have your chicken tenders, you're going to have your mozz sticks, but putting them together, it feels a little too like breaded stuff, a little too fried stuff.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, another one where I like the concept where you have like marinara sauce, banana peppers. And so it has like this sort of like chicken cutlet sort of vibe to it. But it's like a little too fried for me. Like if they took out the mozzarella sticks and just had like straight up mozzarella on top of this and basically made like a chicken parm sandwich, I'd be all for it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. There's nothing wrong with the chicken tender sandwich. They got some good ones at Whataburger, but I think this is just a little too much for me. So whiff.
Yeah, a light whiff, a very light.
Light, yeah. I mean, maybe some slight contact. Try again. I don't know. Little felt tip. I don't know. But right now, it's a whiff. All right, next we're going to Colorado at Coors Field. We have the Wazzy Burger. It's beef topped with cheddar, bacon, boom boom sauce, lettuce, tomato, inside a toasted potato bun.
This is a easy, crushed it. I mean, it's a burger with all the things that you want. It's a very simple thing. I mean, this is not necessarily a crazy food item. The Rockies don't have a ton of crazy food items this year, it looks like, but this just felt good to me. Boom boom sauce, that sort of like nice, like tangy mayo kind of deal. Like it just all works. And a potato bun is always good. I'm cool.
Toasted specifically. I love my burgers with toasted buns. Yes, let's go. So yeah, crushed it for me too. Detroit at Comerica Park has not announced anything yet as well. So hopefully soon for them as well. We'll see.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to Houston. Hey, let's go Stros. At Dyken Park, we have the chicken waffle sandwich, fried chicken breast topped with pepper jack, bacon, onion jam, honey chipotle aioli inside Belgian waffles.
Oh boy. I mean, so my hot take is I'm not a big chicken and waffles guy. I'm not a big, the funny thing is I grew up in Pennsylvania, East Coast, and the idea of chicken and waffles up there is actually waffles covered in chicken in a brown gravy, almost like chicken and dumplings chicken. So it's a very it's a very European, German, Dutch, I don't know where exactly, but that sort of culture, that's what their chicken and waffles is. And that's what I grew up with as chicken and waffles. In the South and most everywhere else in America, chicken and waffles is, a Belgian waffle that is got fried chicken on top and maybe some maple syrup or whatever. So I'm not a big fan. Like it's a lot of like heart clogging stuff going on down there. So I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Nevertheless, like if you were into that, if you're into fried chicken and waffles, the idea of fried chicken and waffles with pepper jack and bacon onion jam and honey chipotle aioli, like that all makes sense. Yeah. I like that idea. I like that fusion of things. I will say pass just because, and I'll say whiff just because I'm not gonna go grabbing that when I get to Dyken Park.
All right, this is where we're going to separate because I say they crush this. This is going to it sounds so good. Yes, it does sound a little heart cloggy, but all ballparks have a defibrillator, so I think we'll be fine. I definitely want to try this. I love a good chicken and waffle sandwich. I love it.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
the Astros also have a new item called the Daddy Mac Dog, which has brisket and mac and cheese in it with the hot dog. Very Texan, very sort
Yeah.
of barbecue culture. I would probably try it, but also there's a
Mhm.
million other great barbecue places around Dyken Park and in Houston and in Texas. So I'd probably just get barbecue from one of those places instead. But just in case you wanted barbecue, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Next, we're going to Kansas City at Kaufman Stadium. We've got the Blue Velvet Whoopie Pie at the Rivals Sports Bar.
Yeah, this is very, very simple. It's a whoopie pie. It's blue. So there you go. We
Okay.
talked about the Z-Man. They introduced that very recently, which is the sandwich from Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. It's a pulled pork sandwich with onion rings, and it's on a bun. It's a good sandwich. It's good. It's fine. It's got provolone as well. Very good. But this is a different thing. We want to talk about that. But it's a whoopie pie that's blue. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. It's standard. If you want a whoopie pie, great. I'd rather just go to Maine and get a moon pie or whoopie pie up there because it's where they're really like Maine whoopie pies. That's the thing. Weirdly, I'm gonna say whiff just because it's not creative enough for me. I
Yeah.
guess.
I want to know where I'm assuming maybe because of the texture of it, but like the name Blue Velvet, I'm like, is that a thing for
Is
David
it a
Lynch?
horse?
I don't know. I don't. It's like a nice little David Lynch thing. I don't know if I want to have it from that movie. R.I.P. David Lynch. Thank you. Let's go to L.A. Los Angeles Angels at Angel Stadium have a macaroni and cheese with karaage chicken tossed in jalapeno hot honey butter.
This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I
Sirens going off. Yes, 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 yes.
whoop, 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 whoop. No, I mean, look, it's simple, right? It's mac and cheese topped with chicken, and it's
Yes.
karaage, which is the Japanese fried chicken.
Yeah.
It's delicious, and
Oh,
they toss it in the jalapeno hot honey butter, like
that just sounds so good.
that sounds so good. It's got the perfect like combination of fat and spice and a little acidity. I mean, it's all there. Like,
And
yes,
this
I would
cheese and
crush
pasta.
this.
Oh, 1,000%. Hardcore crush. All right, let's go to the Dodgers. At Dodger Stadium have the Chicken Katsu Club. It's chicken katsu on Texas toast with Kewpie mayo, avocado, arugula, tomatoes, and bacon in Section 8.
It's in Section 8 of Dodger Stadium. This is a cool idea because, look, Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers, a lot of East Asian fans, Japanese fans, obviously Shohei Ohtani. They just have a huge Japanese fan base. And so chicken katsu is a very like Japanese food item, very luxurious, very tasty. That combination of Kewpie mayo with the katsu. I don't know where there's no katsu sauce on here as far as I know, which is where I'm kind of like, I don't know, this might be a whiff because
Just
if I
call
want
it a chicken club. If it's
well,
no
here, yeah,
katsu.
what they're doing here is they're taking a chicken katsu sandwich, which is the chicken, it's the chicken katsu and
Mhm.
the tonkatsu sauce, which is like a sort of barbecue-y kind of ketchup
Right.
with the Kewpie mayo on Texas toast. That's what the traditional chicken katsu sandwich is, and it's delicious. But then they're doing a club sandwich as a fusion with it. So it's got the arugula, the tomatoes, the bacon, the avocado. So they're trying to combine the two things to make it like palatable for everybody. Like if you're not used to a chicken katsu sandwich, here's a club version of it.
Yeah.
I just want a chicken katsu sandwich when I'm at Dodger Stadium. So weirdly, I'm gonna say whiff, although I like where they're going with this, and I just want to see I want to see a variety of chicken katsu sandwiches at Dodger Stadium, basically,
That'd be nice. A little chicken
and
katsu,
pork
a little
katsu.
board, kind of like a flight of chicken katsu sandwiches.
Yeah. Give me a katsu flight at Dodger Stadium. I am on board.
You know what? I'm gonna say this is a crush. I'm gonna crush this. It
Okay.
just does sound really good.
Fair enough.
Yeah. This all sounds, that works for me. Let's go to Miami at Lone Depot Park. We have, I'm gonna try this
Parrillada.
board with steak, chicken breast, sausage with mashed potatoes, roasted veggies, 3 sauces, chimichurris, and cilantro at the Bullpen Bar and Grill, which is the new lounge in left field.
Absolute crushed it.
Yeah.
I continue to say that Lone Depot Park, the Marlins, have one of the best food selections in baseball. They do a really good job of highlighting local foods, local flavors. The Cuban influence, the Latin influence is strong. This is outstanding. If you have a group of people and you're just hanging out, you want to have some food, you got meats, you got potatoes, you got some heat with it, you got some sauces. This is killer. Yes, absolutely.
Do you know what this reminds me of? And you would know this since we are Houston foodies. This reminds me of what the baller board was at Georgia
Man,
James Steakhouse. For Houstonians, if you're listening, you know what we're talking about. The baller board, it was, I mean, it was, you order that, and their
wow, it
big
was,
thing was, and we would talk about this, is if you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it. That's why
yes,
it's called
yeah.
the baller board. But it would come with like steak. You would get like crab legs. You would get potatoes. Just whatever the chefs wanted to do. It was a massive board. So it's like a really, 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 really fancy charcuterie board.
No,
And that's
it's
what this
incredible.
sounds like. And I'm on board for this. Crushed it a
Well,
thousand percent.
a little smaller than the baller board, which I've had and was incredible when I had it.
I've
And rest in
never had
peace,
it.
old
I'm
school
so
Georgia
sorry.
James. But
Yeah.
yeah, this sounds amazing. Absolutely. If I'm with a couple people, I'm getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like save money. Let's go. Milwaukee at American Family Field, we have the Smokin' Gouda Burger. It's 2 patties, Gouda, beer butter battered, onions,
Well,
chipotle
yeah.
ranch on a potato bun.
I put a question there with battered because they said it's
I'm
2
Ron
patties,
Burgundy.
Gouda, beer butter, and I thought to myself, is it beer battered or is
Huh.
it beer butter onions? I don't know which, but it's beer butter onions. Look, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like other people said beer butter onions, but it could be beer batter. I don't know.
Only one way to
So
find out.
only one way to find out is to go. It's a good looking burger. I mean, look, Gouda. I'm a big Gouda fan. Whether it's beer butter or beer battered, the idea of beer and butter together in some way and these onions is a killer idea for me. Chipotle ranch, that makes sense. All good. This is going to be at the Alley Food Truck Park. No, it's not. I'm lying about this. This is a new food item at American Family. They also have a new food truck park at American Family called the Alley, which is in the left field loge area. I just wanted to highlight that for people in case they were wondering. It has a bunch of different food trucks, 4 at once, and they're always going to change them out. But this is a new item, and I would absolutely crush it.
Crush it too. Same. Hard agree. Minnesota at Target Field. Minnesota Twins. We have a new market style concessions in sections 105 and 109 with packaged snacks, hot food, soda fountain, ice cream, and grab and go beer.
So we don't know yet what the Twins are going to be introducing at Target Field for 2025. They have not had that media event yet, but I wanted to highlight this because so did Baltimore. They're doing this. Just sort of like a different sort of vibe with different kinds of options. So they have these new market style concessions. Again, packaged food, soda fountain, ice cream, grab and go beer. It's where a lot of ballparks are going, just getting more stuff on the go, trying to just get your stuff quickly, and not wait in line for whatever food you're trying to get. It's good to have all this variety. I would say absolutely crushed it because you want more variety, and especially with families, you just want to grab stuff really quick so you can get to your seat and eat your food. And especially with kids who are complaining about being hungry, I know what that's like. This is a great option.
Crush it. I hard agree. Hard agree. The New York Mets at Citi Field has the Queen's Quencher. It's vodka, blue raspberry additive, lemonade, lemon, and blueberries.
It's a drink.
So, it's a drink.
At Citi Field, they have a couple new food items. Some are interesting, but not as interesting as this, to my opinion. I mean, and we haven't highlighted a drink yet, so we wanted to do one here. It's, again, a vodka drink with a lot of sweet stuff and some tart stuff. I'm not a vodka person at all. I'm a gin person, so I don't know if I would get this, but I wanted to highlight this because a lot of teams have really gone the route of cocktails in the last several years. Or basically every ballpark, you'll find a cocktail stand, at least one, and they will have your tequila, they will have your whiskey, they will have your vodka, and you could kind of like mix and match a little bit with some flavorings in some of these places. Margaritas, obviously, and the micheladas are big in the southwestern ballparks, the southern and southwestern ballparks. But this is like nice to have more cocktail options, and looks like the Mets are going that route too. I wouldn't have this drink. I don't know if it's a whiff. I would say it's probably crushed it because there'll be a lot of people who would want this kind of drink. But there you go.
It sounds like something that would go down almost too easy because I love the combination of lemon and blueberries. That's one of my favorite combinations. But as I mentioned before, this is a hard whiff for me because I am about 3.5 years sober. So
if
I'm
they
going
were
to
to do
have that.
if they were to do this with like a non-alcoholic spirit or a seltzer of some sort with some non-alcoholic bitters or something like that, would that be more?
Yeah, yes, okay. Absolutely. Again, I love lemonade and blueberries. Those are an incredible flavor combination. But as it stands right now, no, thank you.
Okay.
For the New York Yankees, we have the tiramisu helmet. It is espresso, mascarpone, ice cream, ladyfingers, and cocoa powder in section 1.
Yeah, Christian Petroni stand. So this is the big deal in New York. They have introduced this thing. You may have seen it on social media. It is a Yankees helmet that is filled with the mascarpone cream, the ladyfingers. It is a tiramisu inside a Yankees helmet. I would kill this.
I would too, and I'm assuming that I did see the picture, and it is an actual full size helmet,
Oh,
right? It's not the small one that could fit in your
no,
hand.
it's a small one. It's not a. It's not a. It's not a. It's not a.
If it was a big
helmet.
one,
No. It's no. But it's like a full size. If you were to order tiramisu at a restaurant, right, for dessert, right, like it would be that kind of serving size of a tiramisu, just inside the smaller helmet, right? So like,
oh my god, that'd be so good.
Yes, like it speaks to the Italian American heritage of New York and all the people that live there. Like that. That's a perfect combination of like that's what Ballpark should be doing, is finding the foods that are really more indicative of that city. In New York, tiramisu, absolutely.
Oh
yes,
my god,
yes,
let's go. We come out in Houston, do something with churros, please. But probably do somewhere. Let's go to Philadelphia, Tim's Place. Citizens Bank Park, we have a S'mores Quesadilla. It's Nutella, mini marshmallows, graham cracker crumble inside a crispy flour tortilla and served with chocolate sauce.
I'm not a big fan of Nutella. I'll just tell you that straight out.
Okay.
But I love s'mores, and this is an ingenious way to do s'mores at a ballpark. It's not too messy. It'll still be messy, but it's not too messy.
In a good way, messy.
This is a great dessert option. You know, they're thinking like Phillies fans, they will drink and eat before the game probably and drink a lot. So you want to have something sweet at the end of the day. This is great. I would crush
Crushable. Absolutely. Crush it for sure. That sounds good. I've never gotten on the Nutella train. Like I remember when it first came out, people were just eating it by the spoonful, and I was like, my stomach hurt looking at that. And I don't think I tried it till a couple years after the big craze ended, and I was like, oh, no, this is actually really good. It is still a little bit too much for me, but I appreciate it. I would crush this quesadilla. Pittsburgh Pirates at PNC Park had the Polish Cannonball. It's a deep fried ball filled with egg noodles, kielbasa, cabbage, bacon, and cheddar cheese.
Again, we are incorporating things that are part of the city experience, Pittsburgh and its Polish heritage. You're talking kielbasa, you're talking cabbage, you're talking egg noodles, which is very Central European, bacon, cheddar cheese in a fried ball. Like what is the way that we deliver this food to people? What is the vessel in which we do it? Let's all put it into a fried ball. Crushed it. And look, give me something else. I mean, Permani Brothers is good, but give me another food item at PNC that I want to like that is very Pittsburgh that I want to try. Like this is absolutely up that alley. This is great.
Do we know how big the ball is? Like the size of a baseball?
So you're getting a serving of balls. So it's like you're getting like 6 balls or something in a serving or something like that. So it's a good.
Oh, okay. Smaller, probably ping pong ball size or something.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
It's like an order of what's the balls that you get for Italian appetizer? What is that called? I forget what they're called.
Oh my god! Oh, I see them and I hear
the rice balls, the Italian rice ball. You know what they're called? Yeah. I forget what they're called.
Those things.
Yeah, it's like that. But anyway, yeah.
You're right. Let's go to Sacramento at the Athletics at Sutter Health Park. We're not sure yet. This was new in 2024. We have the Gold Rush fries, which is pulled pork, cheese, sour cream atop some fries.
Yeah, so this was a new item in 2024 when it was the Sacramento, the River. What are they called? The River Cats. Mm-hmm. We don't know yet. 2025, they haven't announced yet. Who knows? But this is something that we can maybe see at the park if we're there this year. We'll see. It's fries topped with pulled pork, sour cream, and cheese. It's a regular like loaded fry item. Mm-hmm. I will say that if I'm going to Sacramento, which I will be this year, like I'm probably going to go somewhere else to eat. And if I'm at the ballpark, I'll just probably look around and see what's there. So I'm going to say whiff because I'm not going to partake because I've had loaded fries. And to be honest with you, after 7 bites of loaded fries, you get to the next level and the good stuff is gone and it's just fries. And I don't need that anymore.
It's cold and soggy right there. Yeah, you're just all the good. Yeah, it's just not enough. I love the idea of loaded fries, but in reality, it's kind of too messy, and you kind of get disappointed halfway through. And it's sad, which is sad because I love fries. We are now going to St. Louis at Busch Stadium for the Cardinals. We have the Crumble Cookies concession and section 136.
So yeah, Crumble Cookies, if you are not aware of what Crumble Cookies is, they are a nationwide chain of craft cookies, I guess. I've never had Crumble Cookies. I've seen a lot of things online about them, that they're very reliant on the cream cheese frosting and they're somewhat overpriced. Yeah. To me, Crumble Cookies just feels very mid, very sort of,
I've had better.
Mainstream, suburban. I don't care. I don't need Crumble Cookies. So I'm going to say whiff.
Yeah, same. Again, I've had better. They're fine. It's just the ones that I've had have gone a little bit too heavy in the cream cheese frosting, and I love cream cheese frosting, but it can be really easily overpowering. So pass
Give
for
me
me. So it whipped it. Yeah.
give me some fresh baked Italian cookies from the
Yeah.
Italian neighborhood in St. Louis instead, and I'm there.
Yes. Let's go. San Diego Padres at Petco Park. They have the Ballast Point project by one Michelin star and two-time Michelin Green Star chef Drew Deckman. His 3131 is with partner Joe Musgrove. This place will serve fresh seafood, oysters, and ceviche.
Yeah, so the 3131 is a different restaurant that's not a Petco Park. He's going to open some restaurant at Petco Park. It's currently like the Ballast Point Project or whatever they're calling it right now. It'll open at some point this year. Look, Petco Park is great. They have a lot of great food items everywhere in the park. You can get lost in the food items there. But to have like a nice sit-down restaurant that is helmed by a Michelin star guy and it has like fresh seafood and you're in San Diego, like absolutely crushed it. I don't know if I'm like going to go sit down at a restaurant at a ballpark because I want to watch the game and again take in the game from different places.
Yeah.
But as an option, if you were there to like eat and enjoy a ball game and you want to have some like oysters, like absolutely, let's do it. So yeah, crushed it.
Ceviche. I mean, give me some ceviche. It's seafood salsa. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, you're gonna have
Seafood
chicken salsa. Oh, I love it. So crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. San Francisco Giants at Oracle Park will have the popcorn bat also at PNC Park, which is 98 ounces for $22.59.
It's a 98 ounce plastic bag filled with popcorn. So
oh no!
You may have seen in recent years the beer bat. That's at almost every park now, where you get a 32 ounce bat that you can fill up with beer. I've had a beer bat. I tried it once, and I'll tell you, it was fine. I don't need it ever again. The popcorn bat, it's even bigger. It's all popcorn filled. If you are with a family of children and you want a bat for the game, and then you can bring it back later on to refill, absolutely great, good idea. Yeah. But if you're by yourself, don't get the popcorn bat. Like, no, are you gonna eat 98 ounces of popcorn?
If you are, you're gonna have a bad time. I mean, it's who doesn't love popcorn, but at the same time, it's just like that's just so much. And I'm sure, I'm assuming they're also gonna have stations like kind of like the movies where you can like add the butter and the salt and all that stuff on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know if possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
But can you imagine that though? Because like the butter, it's gonna be all pooled to the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's gonna.
Then you can drink the butter at the end. Ugh, okay.
But for like a family option, I would say sure, crushed it. Yeah, great.
Yeah, for a family option, crushable. Absolutely. Oh, I don't recommend. We're going next to Seattle at T-Mobile Park for the Mariners. You have a souvenir Trident's Up Cup, and it can hold up to 32 ounces of a beverage.
You've probably seen this on social media if you're if you're clued in. It is that old school Mariners Trident, the pitchforky kind of looking thing. And yeah, you can buy this. It is 32 ounces. You can fill it up with any beverage of your choice, beer, soda, whatever. And the key with this one is you can bring it back and get it refilled. I think you can actually bring it back to the park and get refills, throughout eternity, potentially. So for that reason, I say crushed it. Because if you're a Mariners fan, you're going to go to a lot of games and you want one of these things to carry around, crushed it. I will say, again, from someone who's had the beer bat in his life, carrying the thing around with the alcohol and all that, like it's a lot. It is a lot to carry around the bat and to I gotta balance it and the whole thing. So maybe it's a little unwieldy, but if you are a Mariners fan and you're going to a lot of games, I totally would say yes, crushed it, get the Trident Up Cup.
Yeah, why not? I mean, do we know how much it costs, by the way?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I think it's somewhere around $30 or something like that.
That's not bad. It's a
first time thing, right?
Yeah.
They also, T-Mobile is a great ballpark for food, and they have a lot of really cool items this year at the park. I didn't want to name them all, but the one that I wanted to bring out as well, they have pork soup dumplings this year at the park, which come on, let's go. Pork dumplings, soup dumplings. I love soup dumplings. They're named after Cal Raleigh because a lot of their products this year are named after players. They're called, because Cal Raleigh is Big Dumper, they're called Lil Dumpers.
Come up with this.
I don't think I would eat it just because they're named Little Dumpers.
Go get some Little Dumpers. No, what is that? No.
But T-Mobile, great food. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic food.
I would totally eat soup dumplings at T-Mobile Park.
I love a good soup dumpling. I really do. You eat it too fast and the soup scalds your mouth and you're like, worth it. I love it. I'll absolutely eat some soup dumplings at T-Mobile. At Tampa with Steinbrenner Field, we are not sure yet because, again, this stuff was announced very, very recently that they're going to be playing at Steinbrenner Field. But this was an item in 2004. They had pork belly bao buns.
Yeah, the pork belly bao buns we talked about in our Steinbrenner Field episode. This was part of the ballpark experience last year in 24. So maybe they'll have them again. It seems like a special thing on Thursdays. I don't know. We will find out at some point, hopefully. I would always eat a pork belly bao bun. Great. But I'm not going to say crushed it. I'm not even going to say whiffed it just because we don't know yet. So we're going to say hold, essentially.
Hold. I love a good bao.
Taking a ball.
Take a ball. Yeah. I love pork belly bao. So, but let's see what else they're going to offer this year. It was very last minute. They probably didn't have a lot of time to come up with anything. So we'll see what happens. But Texas Rangers at Globe Life Field have the Boomstick Burrito. It's a 26-inch flour tortilla filled with rice, beans, taco meat, Rico's nacho cheese, pico, lettuce, and sour cream at Texas 24 in section 132.
Okay, so if you've been to Globe Life Field, a Rangers game, you may have heard of the Boomstick. This is what they introduced the first year out. It is a 24-inch hot dog. It is enormous. It is ridiculous. It is called the Boomstick. They also sell a Boomstick Junior, which I think is about a foot long. I have had that. It was fine. It's a hot dog. It's a little. You could load it up with whatever. It's fine. Mm-hmm. This is a burrito version of the Boomstick. Whiff. Why?
No.
I mean, look, if you're with like two other people, you could totally do this and it's fine. Yeah. But it gets soggy. It's
soggy.
I mean, how many calories is this thing? Like 5,000 calories? It's insane. I like a burrito. First off, I don't want a burrito in Arlington, Texas. I want a burrito in San Francisco, California, or San Diego, like somewhere in California.
That's known for their burritos. I mean, we got
Los
great
Angeles
burritos here, but come on, no.
But I don't want this. It's just too much. I don't. But what I'd rather have, they've introduced finally this year in Globe Life. They have some real local foods coming into that stadium. Arlington Eats in Section 101. They're going to be trading out different places, but they're starting with Prince Lebanese. They're going to have some of their foods to start the season. Prince Lebanese is a really good Lebanese restaurant. Arlington, really well known, very, very good. Good Lebanese population in that city as well. Go get Prince Lebanese if you're in Arlington at Club Life, or go to Hurtado Barbecue, which is out there as well. Best barbecue in Arlington. Very, very good barbecue place. They also have one in Fort Worth. They've been expanding recently. Very good barbecue. Also new at Arlington and Globe Life is El Tiempo, which is a Houston brand.
Okay.
Joining Carbach.
Yeah. Oh God. I was reading that. I'm like, that started here. Like
they have a lot of Houston brands in Arlington, Texas at a Globe Life.
I mean,
just saying.
Houston's got a pretty good food scene here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna toot our own horn. We got a pretty good here. But yeah, that's I mean, El Tiempo is great. I like El Tiempo. I mean, there's a couple of better Tex-Mex places here. Quite a few better Tex-Mex places here. But
they're good.
You know, it's nice to see a little bit of Houston invading more of Arlington. I'm not mad about it. Toronto Blue Jays, north of the border at Rogers Center, has cotton candy poutine, which is part of Fridays with McCain. New recipe weekly on Fridays.
Yeah, so they did this last year where they have Fridays, and it is McCain, the French fry, frozen food French fry maker.
Yum.
when you were 10, McCain fries, but they're going to change it out every Friday. They have a different fry recipe, and this one is one they're highlighting. It's again cotton candy poutine. It's essentially fries topped with cotton candy. No, thank you. Don't want whiff. Sorry,
whiff. 3 hard whiffs in a row. No, yeah,
Go ahead.
You go for it. Yeah. Okay, real quick. So my one experience with poutine. So I actually am bringing back to Carbach, which we just talked about. I was working on the patio at Carbach. It was in August. So here in Houston, August, if you're lucky, it's only 98 degrees. And one of the items on the menu was a bowl of piping hot poutine. And the number of poutines that went out on that patio on that August day, I was like, what is wrong with you people? Yeah. Look, I love poutine, but not when you're sitting outside in August in Houston. That's just a bad idea for everybody involved.
And poutine is delicious.
I love poutine. Yeah.
I've had poutine in Montreal in like October, and that was amazing. So I get what you're saying. They also do have the piccata skewer is another one that I wanted to highlight there at Rogers. Chicken covered in sazon, which is salt and onion, kind of like a Mexican spice blend, with an ancho chipotle aioli with pico. That sounds really good, and I would definitely get that. It's a cool skewer, like nice hand holdable thing.
That's a crush for me too. And we're finishing up with the Washington Nationals at Nationals Park. We have Jake and Jake's smoked brisket sauce. Nationals players Jake Irvin and Jacob Young came up with this sandwich, a brisket topped with mumbo sauce, which is DC-style barbecue sauce, slaw, veggies, inside an onion roll.
Yeah, so I think I put this down wrong. It is a smoked barbecue sandwich, but it is a brisket sandwich, and mumbo sauce is a DC thing. It's very much like a barbecue sauce, a little spicy, a little sweet. This sounds great, and so they're having some of the players for the Nationals like name these sandwiches, which I think is a great idea. The Nationals aren't going to be very good, but they have a lot of young players, and they're asking these young players to kind of put their names in things so that the fans can get to know them a little bit more and their tastes and that kind of thing. Just a little bit of character into the ballpark. So I like that. I would absolutely eat the sandwich. It seems crushable to me. Yes.
Crush it. Yep. Crush. Well, that'll do it for the food for the new 2025 baseball season, which again starts tomorrow because tomorrow's opening day. Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
I'm so excited. Oh my God. Oh, I already went to Dyken Park because I needed to get something. I'm going to check out the new team store. I got to see all the new City Connect stuff, which is slowly growing on me. But just being able to walk around in the team store, which you can do all year round, but it just like sparked something inside of me. I was like, oh, this is, we're so close to happening. I love it.
It's here. If you're going to any ballpark this year and you have any of these crazy food items or any other food items that you want to talk about, let us know. Email us. I'm at tim@clanproductions.com. Also tsmalcolm@gmail.com. You can also just comment on our YouTube, comment on anywhere you see us, if you can, our social media, and let us know what you think of the foods at the different ballparks across the country. We will be back in a moment on Take Me Out.
You can find Take Me Out on Facebook at facebook.com/TakeMeOutPod. We're also on Instagram, getting a little bit more active on there. Instagram is @TakeMeOutPod. You can also find us on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. At youtube.com/TakeMeOutPod. We do have a Patreon coming soon, but you can also find us probably where you're listening to us right now, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please, please, please give us 5 stars. We would really appreciate it.
Help us grow our community. Tell everybody that you know who's a baseball fan about us so they can listen and then give us the 5-star ratings and a cool review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please let people know we are trying to get the word out. So if you can help us, that would be fantastic.
We would love it. Thank you so much.
We would. Thank you. Welcome back to Take Me Out. I'm Tim, and that is Alex. And final segment. Opening day's here. It is right here. It is in front of us. And so I figured we can join the ranks of everybody else in baseball podcasting world who is doing this as well. Let's make some predictions for the 2025 season. Now, we're not going to do all the predictions. We're not going to do awards. We're not going to do any of that stuff. Very simply put, I'm going to spin the magic wheel that has all the teams on it. And randomly, it'll come up on a team. And I will ask you, Alex, if you think the Astros, your Houston Astros, will fare better in 2025 than the team that shows up on the wheel. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
I will then give my official prediction as to how many wins that team will have and where they will end the season, whether it's in the playoffs or not in the playoffs, and what round of the playoffs, if they are there, that kind of thing. Are you ready?
I'm ready to give it a completely unbiased thoughts.
Yes, I'm sure it'll be very unbiased. Let's spin that wheel. And we are coming up on our first team, which is the Minnesota Twins. So, Alex, will the Astros be better this year than the Minnesota Twins?
I think so. I don't think it's going to be a huge, bigger winning percentage, but I think they will be. I think the Astros will be better. Sorry, Carlos Correa. Still love you.
This is a playoff contender in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think we could. I'm going to predict we'll be better by them 5 or 6 games. I'll do 5 games. We'll say better than 5 games. So kind of not the same, but a little better. Yeah.
I'm going to say the Twins are going to win 80, 90, 91 games this year.
All right. I'm putting
the Twins win 91 games, and they are going to lose in the American League wild card round.
Who are they losing to?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say they're going to lose in the wild card round. I'm not going to give you the whole store.
I know everything.
Here we go.
I know this. So you
second
said, 91 for the Twins? Okay, yeah.
91 for the Twins. Here's our second team. It is going to be the Oh, this is a hot pick. It's a hot pick. People are on this team's bandwagon. The Arizona Diamondbacks. Will the Astros do better than the Diamondbacks?
No.
Ooh,
no.
Okay. Spicy.
I'm a realist, but yeah, no, I'm sorry. But I think the Diamondbacks are going to go pretty far this season. I think the Astros still have a lot to work on. We did lose quite a few pieces in this offseason, but we still have some great players. But I think the Diamondbacks will be better this year.
So the Diamondbacks are unfortunately in a division that also includes the Dodgers. The National League is a really tough league this year. A lot of good teams in the National League, very top heavy. So I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to run away with anything. I think they're going to be a good team. They're very much on the fringe of playoffs to me. I think they're going to win 92 games, and their season will end losing the National League Division Series.
Yeah, that was last year too, right?
They didn't make the playoffs last year. Playoffs last year. They lost the World Series 2 years ago.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Famously, and I don't like that.
No.
Third team. So we have 2 down, 3 more to go. Our third team on the wheel as we finish the spin. It is going to end up on a team that is going to get some love as well this year from a lot of people. The Boston Red Sox.
Oh, man. We got picking on the team for the former Astros. We got Bregman. Oh,
right in that range, too. Like right around where the Astros are going to be probably. Like how will the Red Sox?
I would say they're going to be 1 game back. Oh, no. You know what? They're going to be better, I think. Because
the Astros or the Red Sox?
The Red Sox, sorry. I think the Red Sox are going to be better, especially with the addition of Bregman, who we mentioned before, loves that green monster. He loves smashing it at Fenway, and I think the Red Sox are really I think he's going to be a huge addition for them. So I'm going to say they'll be 2 games better.
Okay.
2. Yeah.
Oh, man. The Red Sox are like this trendy pick to make the playoffs, and I want to be against that and say they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to say that. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to put them at 85 wins, and their season's going to end in the last day of the regular season.
Okay. And
go against the grain.
I'm sure.
Against the grain. Okay, 4th team on the spin. We're going to do 5, so 2 more to go. The 4th team that we're going to end up with is another playoff team from last season, I believe, the Kansas City Royals.
Oh, they're going to be better than the Astros, I think.
You think so?
I think so.
It's a good young team. Good, like a lot of young players, a lot of interest there. Bobby Witt, great player.
Yeah, phenomenal player. Absolutely. So
you think they'll be better than the Astros? Okay.
I think kind of like in the same level as the Red Sox, about 2 or 3 games better. And I think, do you think they'll be a playoff team this year? What do you think?
I think they're going to have that year where they take a dip. The young team that comes up really strong and makes the playoffs and everybody's all behind them. The next year, sometimes they take that dip back and they go back into the fray. So I think they're going to have that season. I think they're only going to win 79 games, but I think they have a good future. I think they have a very good future. I'm going to say 79 wins for the Royals.
Excuse me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, so 79 wins for the Royals. Yeah, that's doable. I think I can see that happening.
Okay, last team. We're going to spin the wheel one more time. Our 5th team on this prediction. Let's see what's going to happen, and let's be a good one. Let it be a good one. It is going to be not really a good one. A team that probably is not going to do that well this year. The St. Louis Cardinals.
Astros will be better. I would say
they got to.
Yeah, dude, come on.
There's a lot of pessimism about the Cardinals this year, even from St. Louis fans who typically are not that pessimistic about the Cardinals. But yeah, they don't seem to be a very hot commodity this year. They're kind of working through a lot of changes, a new club basically, a lot of young players, some decent players in there. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to say they're going to win 74 games, and they're going to finish the season out of the playoffs, finish the regular season. That's where it's going to go.
I think any season where the Astros finish above the Cardinals is a good season. I'll take that.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You still anti-Cardinals? They've left the National League so long ago.
People are still salty about the Astros cheating, but it's okay.
All right.
I'm a fun
Fair
fan.
enough.
It's all good.
Fair enough. Well, that ends it for Take Me Out. I'm not giving you my World Series winner prediction. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. If you could find me in person, I will give you more of that later on.
Don't want anything on the record right now, though.
What's that?
Nothing on the record right now from Tim.
Well, except for the win totals, and we'll see what
That's
happens.
true, that
and
one.
we'll come back at the end of the season. But that's it for Take Me Out. Again, opening day is here. Very excited. If you are out there and you want to tell us what you think about what's going on, and if you've had some crazy foods, if you've been to ballparks, whatever, let us know what you think of the things, and we'll get them out there, and we'll tell people about what you see. Please listen. We love that you're here. Thank you for listening as much as you have. We'll be back next week with an all-new episode. It'll be a lot of fun, and I don't know what it is yet, but we'll get there. That's it for Take Me Out. I'm Tim.
I'm Alex. Guys, it's baseball season. It's here.
It's here. See you next week.